I am superb today. How are you?
I am hot because it's 90 degrees here
It's
and
toasty
it's
today.
not feeling great. But
It's toasty. It is 83 degrees outside still. I ran some errands earlier and I had to have my windows down and I was still kind of sweating.
I
I was
always have my windows down in the summer and it's great. It's
I
that
was
time of weather again, or that time of the year again that we can do that. It's gonna feel great.
I love it. I miss it. I
Beach
need it.
time,
It's
beach
supposed to
volleyball every Tuesdays now.
Yeah, it's
So,
supposed I'm so jealous the beach is so close to you.
so nice. So nice. But you know
Very
where
jealous.
there isn't a beach? Canada. And that's where the race is this weekend. So we got to talk about the Canadian Grand Prix this week.
Mr. Stroll's home race.
Mr. Stroll's home race, which gets us right into our first topic. Lance Stroll is racing this weekend. So
Back and better than ever,
we'll
maybe.
see. Who knows? He hasn't been that bad this year. So
He
he
has it. He's been pretty mediocre. I mean, compared to everybody else, he's pretty mediocre, but in terms of
compared to his standards, he's pretty good.
Lance Stroll standards, he's been doing pretty well. Very proud of him. Glad he's getting the groove. I mean, it's
It
been
is
how
it is fun to
many
think
years?
about the fact that we talked a lot in the last week or so. I think we talked about in the podcast last week about how Stroll was going to screw the team over because of the fact that he wasn't going to be able to race this week, and
Here he
that
is.
Dragovich wouldn't have been able to do the Le Mans and all that. Here he is. So all that conversation that we had is useless,
I,
but it's fine.
I don't feel like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just scrolling through the news right now. I mean, I don't know. I feel like people were making such a big deal about it. Then all of a sudden, like F1 and ESPN were just like, Stroll's racing.
Well,
Okay, bye.
that's like everyone's making a big deal about Max having a penalty point, and we did the same thing last week too, right? Like
It
we
was
talked about
literally
it.
not that
It's
deep.
never gonna matter, but if it does matter, it'd be really fun. I'm not gonna lie, which we have a topic about that in a little while, but we're not gonna get there
Like,
yet.
it's really not that deep.
But actually, more so, we could put these two together right now because our next topic, which we didn't really talk about Stroll that much, there's not really that much to talk about. He's just back. So,
Yeah,
you know
he's
what?
been
Do we have any predictions for him? Do we think he's gonna be in the points in his home race?
maybe like ninth,
Ninth. I mean,
10th.
Alonso's struggling to score points and he's better. So
I would say like ninth or 10th, just to be nice.
just to be nice, we'll say maybe ninth or 10th. In reality,
Maybe he's gonna be superhuman now that I don't know if he got
he's
surgery
got a
or what,
bionic arm now.
but
I don't think he did anything.
maybe
I
he's
think he
gonna
was just
be
being a little bit of a wuss.
yeah, a little bit of a weenie. It's
Don't sue
fine.
me, Lance. I know you're a sensitive guy, but I don't mean that as
Eh,
much as I definitely
he'll
do.
be fine.
But back on the Max Verstappen topic. George Russell, I don't know if you saw it today, had the
Okay.
funniest quote
Oh
I've
my God.
ever heard him say when he said he was surprised that Max took accountability for his actions last race.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
It's just so funny.
That's what I was gonna talk to you about earlier because I was like, dude,
That's almost like he's trying to start drama now.
this beef literally never freaking ends. Oh my God. I don't even know where I saw it on, to be honest. Oh, he
F1
was just
TV
trying to
did an
get his
article on it.
elbows out and show who's boss. He got it wrong. Joe is the boss. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that part. But Max hasn't responded to it, which either means he's going to respond to it in the race and it's going to be really funny because then he's going to get a penalty point, or he's just maturing, and I don't think that's the case. So
I don't think he is either. I'm reading a comment right now and somebody just said, I love when Russell talks. 2 years ago, he was showcased as a future WDC, and now he can only get screen time if he talks about an actual WDC.
yeah, it's definitely an interesting one considering Russell's consistently fighting for third, but nothing more. So
I it's fine. I mean, I'm not honestly at this point, like I feel like the beef has been squashed. I feel like
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I don't know. I feel like the beef is squashed, like it's done, it's over with, but I feel like it's just like
There will forever be beef between George Russell and Max Verstappen, and you cannot like the Lando and Max beef that never was actually real beef. That's over, right? Because they were just going at it competitively and being the competitors that they are. George and Max actually don't like each other. It's pretty obvious.
well,
Like
like yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend or something
Yeah.
like that type of vibe. Like I feel like they're never gonna get along, they're never gonna be besties, but like
They're never gonna be SD bestie.
they're never gonna be ST besties. But I also like it's one of those things where it's like you just get along. Like they acknowledge that they don't like each other, but it's like you can't have beef like this forever. Like it's just gonna be
Yeah.
I look at it in the way that I look at oh, what's his name? James Hunt and what's his face? Nikki Lauda.
Oh yeah, thank you, Ada. Yeah. Which that should be an episode we should do. We should watch the movie and like live react to it. It'd
Rush.
be
We should
fun.
watch Rush. I love that
It's a
movie.
great movie. But on the topic of Max potentially getting a penalty point, Arvid Lindblad, of course, the Red Bull Junior driver. He's, I believe, in F3, not in F2 yet, but
Proof.
18-year-old phenom was approved for a super license today, or not today, a couple days ago. Um, is that Red Bull posturing for next year? Is that Red Bull warning Max like we have someone just in case, but don't get your penalty point?
Honestly, I don't think Max is gonna leave personally.
That's not, I meant like that he was gonna get suspended for a race.
But I think it's one of those things where depending on how he performs and whatnot, maybe a reserve driver,
I'm trying to
maybe
think,
get the test
who
drive. I
is the
don't
actual reserve driver for Red Bull right now? Because I thought it could be Liam Lawson still. I don't know.
know. Um, n-
Popped up for me. I didn't even look it up. Reserve driver for 2025 was Yuki. However, now that Yuki's on the team, I believe it's Lawson. And then there's also Ayu Iwasama or Iwasa. Jeez, I can't speak. So he is also a reserve driver. I think a lot of the Lindblad stuff is prepping for next year because I think they're probably going to axe Yuki at the end of the year.
I don't
Um,
get that.
but Arvid Lindblad's a stud, and you can't rush him because if you put him in F1, he can't go back to F2. So,
Dude, same thing that they're gonna do with all the rookies they did this year. Literally just eat them up and spit them out.
which
I didn't realize that Joe was Ferrari's reserve driver.
I believe Joe's Ferraris, Bottas is Mercedes. I don't know who McLaren's is actually. It was
Yeah,
Alex
police
Palou for
is
the
it?
longest time, but
Yeah.
now he's in IndyCar full time. So, who is
Why
it?
does Alpine have so many?
Well, Alpine had it's Jack Doohan now, but it was Franco Colapinto. No, it
I
wasn't.
know. They've got like four.
Who's Franco with before Alpine? Or
Was he with
was he
was it?
Alpine's reserve driver too? Because he was obviously with Williams last year, but I believe he may have went to Alpine for a reserve driver this year. But I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Who's
Haas doesn't.
McLaren's reserve?
Pato.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
I mean, they're never gonna need him, but like, because
this
it
was his
used to be
January.
Alex
This was
Palou.
okay. To be fair, this article was as of January 13th,
I mean, still, that's pretty close though. I'd say
but
it's gonna change a
I
lot.
don't I don't think I've heard it was Pato.
Pato was it at one point. Alex Palou was it at 1.2. So McLaren loves their IndyCar drivers,
Yeah,
which
it's
is fun, but
Pato. It's Pato Award.
interesting.
So he's been involved with multiple tests and practice sessions with the team since 2022. He's
He did
participating.
run,
Oh,
I
by the
do
way,
remember running a
yeah,
test.
he's participating in free practice one at the Mexico City Grand Prix.
Hmm. Oh, that's good.
That'd be
Mexico
so
too. It's good also.
exciting. I love
Time to go to
Pato.
Mexico.
I know, I love him. I don't think he'll ever go F1, but that would be very
I
exciting to
mean,
see.
if he's so like entrenched in the McLaren family, there's just kind of no way for him to go to
Yeah.
F1, right? Like
Sorry, I think he's doing a pretty good job in Indy. He
Indy
should have had the race
keeps
last year, but we don't
well,
talk
two
about it.
years in a row he should have won the Indy, but he never did, which again we still need to talk
Okay,
about.
we've got cheaters, so it's fine.
And Alex Palou won IndyCar. He was with McLaren at one point. We'll take it.
That was a fair race. Last year, I don't
Last
know
year was a little
if you heard all that drama.
I heard the drama, but I also watched the last lap and he just played it really, really poorly. But it's fine.
Yeah,
He made the pass too early. It is what it is.
yeah, but still, cheaters, cheaters.
But Arvid probably isn't going to get up here anytime soon. It would be for next year, if anything. I
Yeah.
think just for silly season thoughts before we actually do the predictions, I think Yuki's going to get dropped by Red Bull. I think Hajar's going to end up in the second Red Bull seat next year, and I think Lindblad's going to be the second RB driver.
Crazy. I don't think so. I think they'll keep Yuki. I mean, depending on how he performs for the rest of the season, I think they'll keep Yuki.
I don't think Yuki wants to be there anymore
You don't
because
think so?
they finally give him the chance at Red Bull car, but it's too late to the point that the car sucks now. Like
Yeah. I
he's
mean,
been
what
he's been
else?
just rotting in the Red Bull family for so long. Like
Where
he can go to
else?
Aston, he can go to like I heard rumors that Stroll might not be back next year now. He finally is having enough of it
Okay, I feel like if anything, Stroll should stay. Why is Alonso still racing? The dude's 50.
because he's Alonso. He's Fernando Alonso and he's
No, but
amazing.
like, bruh.
I think Stroll will go. I think Yuki will go to Aston or Max will go to Aston. One of the two will. But I think Arvid's going to have a spot next year. Not on the Red Bull team, but he'll be around. So
I believe it. I think if anything, I think he'll be kind of in a position like maybe Franco or
I think it's going to be like a Kimi Antonelli kind of thing where they
you just give.
probably rushed him a little too early, but it's going to be worth it. Like Kimi's had his ups and downs this year, of course, but
Yeah. I would say he's either going to be in a C or a reserve.
yeah, he'll be around. But speaking of Franco, because that is our next topic, there's now rumors that he might not make it to the end of the season because he is also underperforming in Alpine, and Flavio Briatore is a madman.
Okay, but I feel like this comes to question again. I feel like I forget who else we were having this. It was with Red Bull. We were having this conversation with Red Bull. Is
Mhm.
it genuinely the driver that's causing these issues, or is it the car itself that's causing issues?
I think it's
Because
definitely
I feel like
hard.
Gasly hasn't done well at all this season either.
Gasly at the beginning of the year was like fighting for top tens a lot. He would just get very
He
unlucky.
was, but look at him
But
now.
now you see now, not great. However, the idea has been floated, which I'm looking at it now. I didn't see this one. This is what I was going to say. I saw something that said Jack Doohan could be back in the seat. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I saw something about this. I'm now looking at something that says Sergio Perez is in the picture as an Alpine replacement.
I love Checo, but like, dude, just wait for a seat. This man is like basically guaranteed Cadillac. I'm sorry.
He really is. Like I mean, I think he or Bottas is. One of the two will get the
One
Cadillac
of the
seat, and
two, if not both of them, this
I
could be
think Bortoleto probably gets cut by Audi and could go to Cadillac because I think Mick Schumacher is a match made in heaven for that.
Oh my God, I forgot about Mick. I see definitely Mick and then either Botas
Or Checo.
or Checo. Yeah. You know what? Let's bring Vettel back. I miss
Like
Vettel.
the whole thing with Audi, right, is like they've said they want an all German team. So that leaves you Nico Hulkenberg, who's already there. He's probably not going anywhere. Mick Schumacher, who hasn't raced in however long. Sebastian Vettel, who technically is retired, but you also then have to figure out what you're going to do with Gabriel Bortoleto because he's not not performing bad by any means compared to the car. Like just it's a lot. And I cannot wait for that silly season episode that we're going to do because that's going to be my favorite episode we do ever.
I agree with you. I don't know. I hope Franco makes it to the end of the season. I would love to see him do well. I think he did great last season, for the time being. But I don't know. I think
Like
people have been
Williams and Alpine are very different beasts.
they
That's
are very different beasts, but I think people have been way too quick on their toes.
yeah. It's
With
just Alpine's just such
doing this type of stuff.
dysfunction at
I don't
all
know.
times.
Dude, Alpine's been horrible. Um,
That's really
Red
it.
Bull has been horrible, but like I mean with decisions with switching people out and
Okay.
like, I feel like it makes sense. Like if I'm looking at McLaren, for instance, like you have even Mercedes, you have a absolute solid car. There's nothing adversely wrong with the car. But if you have a driver that's performing horribly, then I think it's fair to switch out your drivers. But if you have a crappy car,
Or really
now
good
that that's
drivers that
not
just not
no,
performing
not
in the
known,
car.
and you have drivers that either can't drive the car because it sucks or are, for instance, a rookie.
But that's why we never can figure it out with Red Bull because like Max is so good that that car can be the worst car on the grid, but he's so
But
good that
that's
it's
the
not going to
thing,
matter.
but not everybody's max. So it's like you can't like
Exactly.
that's like literally like just drawing a straw on who can freaking drive the car the best. If you can drive it the best, sure, drive it, but doesn't mean you're good. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
just it's Red Bull's so hard to figure out.
Counterintuitive. I
Like
mean, Alpine. Like it's such a counterintuitive
Alpine's
strategy.
pretty easy to see. Like Gasly's a great driver. Like I love Pierre Gasly. I think he's one of the better drivers on the grid when he's got a good car.
Good,
The
yeah.
car's awful, so he can't do anything. It means you can't really get a read on Colapinto. You didn't get a read on Jack Doohan. You completely screwed him over. So you can't figure that out. But with Red Bull, you don't know if the car's good or not because Max is so good. The car honestly isn't that bad because they're still competing with McLaren. Like they're
It's not
obviously slower than the McLaren. It's just Max makes it competable. But
it's
Yuki's
not
been so
bad,
bad
but
we don't know.
exactly. I was gonna say, like, it's not that Red Bull's car's bad. It's just not what it used to be. So you have no way of telling literally if it's the car or the driver. I think it's the same thing with Alpine. Like, is it the car or is it the driver? Are you making irrational or rash? Just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. And especially when you have the two team principals at Alpine and Red Bull are just known to be like kind of straight shooters. Like
I'm gonna
Flavio's
say,
a straight shooter, Christian Horner's a straight shooter, and then obviously Helmut's a straight shooter. Like there's very little room for error with either of those teams. So for to end this whole conversation, I think Franco does finish the season. I don't think he's there next year.
I
So
agree. I think if he's not there next year, I think if anything, he's a reserve.
yeah.
Or
And
he'll be on like
I think
Kit
Doohan could
Sauber.
get
I
another
don't
chance
know.
next year. I think Doohan gets another chance. Another look. He's not going to be guaranteed the seat, but he'll get another look for next year just because they rushed him into it too much.
I think both Colapinto and Doohan both get looks next year,
Yeah.
but I think it would be between the two of who gets the actual seat and who
It's
doesn't.
really fun to think like McLaren and Mercedes, not even Mercedes. McLaren for sure isn't going to change their driver lineup. I was going to say Ferrari wasn't, but sounds like that could be a topic
Yeah,
of
I know
conversation
about
after we're
this.
about to text about this. Red Bull's going to need to change something. McLaren or Mercedes will change if Max is available. If Max isn't available, they'll keep it. Like, is there any other team that's not going to change their lineup? Like okay, Williams won't change their lineup, but
I don't see why Williams would change it.
like
Uh,
Haas always can. Audi will probably do something. Alpine definitely will do something. Aston, it all depends on Stroll. Like, there's every other team has something that can change.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. Like, I don't
Exciting
know. I'm,
still.
I'm, I think once we get a solidified Cadillac lineup, I think we can start to
I
piece
think
together.
that's like when we look last year, right? Carlos Sainz was the first move that needed to happen for everything to kind of fall into place. The Cadillac drivers are going to be the first move that needs to fall into place for everything, right? Like
Because if they steal people from other teams, then that
exactly.
just switches.
Which I don't think they will,
Oh,
because
sorry.
I don't think anyone's going to risk their contract on a team that hasn't happened yet. Like I could see someone risking to go to Audi, but I can't see someone risking for Cadillac because Audi's at least had some time to kick, right? So
I agree. No, I think it makes sense. But yeah, no, I agree. All in all, I think Colapino's going to make it to the end of the season. I don't see any reason why not.
well, we've seen crazy things happen before. So
Say at the moment. But yeah, I agree with that.
but the one that I did just briefly bring up, which you didn't even see, and I didn't really see it much about it. I saw an
I don't
Instagram
even
post
know.
about it. I saw an article about it.
I don't even know where you
There
saw
might be
it.
some turmoil in Ferrari now
But
because Lewis obviously has had his spats with his engineer and the management there. But apparently, Charles Leclerc is now considering leaving at the end of the season because the performance has been bad. I
I
don't
just,
think it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure he's going to come out and say it's not going to happen, but it's still interesting to think about.
I don't think I don't think he is. I feel like he has invested too much in the team and the team has invested too much in him for him to just up and leave, especially after one bad season.
It hasn't been one bad season. They've been saying that they're going to compete for years on end, and they haven't. I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
but it's not that they're not competing. It's not that they're not competing.
they're
I
consistently
would say
like a
Ferrari's
second
doing
or
worse
third
than
best team. It's just they're always in a year where like McLaren's so dominant this year. Red Bull's been so dominant the years past. Like, they just are always the second best team every time.
but again, like I think that's one of those things where it's like, okay, like you get a good driver lineup and then you help to build a car around that in a sense that, like I said, it's like you have to have one strong point. Like I feel going back to like I feel like I look at Alpine and I look at Red Bull, like you don't have a strong point at all. Like you don't have, I mean, Yuki's a good driver, Max is a good driver, yes, but you don't have a good car. So it's like you can't. I
Can't
don't
pick
know.
and
And then it's like I
choose.
look at Ferrari, you have two great drivers right now. It's not that your car's horrible, but it's like, okay, we take this season, it's a test run. Let's figure out the kinks, let's work it out. Next season, we actually work on it, we start competing. I mean, I could be the same thing that you look at McLaren. McLaren wasn't performing like they were at all
Yeah.
this year.
And that's how we could always say, like, there's going to be a team that could just show up because McLaren was very bad at one point and now
That's
they're
what
very good.
that's
So,
what I'm saying. So it's like
which I
I
think
don't
that
think
will be Williams. Let me just put it out there. But
it's gonna be Williams or Ferrari. It's gonna be one of the two because it's definitely not gonna be Kick Saber or Sauber or whatever it is now. Um, I could it's either gonna be Williams or Ferrari, and I think it's dependent on who has the strongest drivers and who has the most faith in them actually working this out. Because like,
which those are probably the two best driver pairings on the grid, if we're being honest. So,
yeah, I would agree.
because
I,
like
I don't think
Lando's shown things.
I don't see him leaving, but I see him being very frustrated. I think it's very obvious as well that
I
Lewis is
think,
very frustrated.
yeah, I think next year's a big year for Ferrari because this year they probably realize like McLaren's running away with it. There's nothing they can do about that, right?
Yeah.
New regulations come in next year. Everything's going to be completely scrapped. Like we don't know anything. Like for anything that we know, Aston Martin can come out and be the best team on the grid because of Adrian Newey. So like we don't know this, right? Like next year's a big one for Ferrari. And if they have a bad year next year, I think Charles is going to consider leaving. I don't think he's going to do it
I
this
can
year,
see
but
that. I mean, he's invested in plenty of years in it. I know, but yeah, I don't know. Like, if
but
anything,
also like no one thought Lewis was going to leave, and Lewis left for Ferrari. So
I feel like that was kind of expected, though. I mean, they were so stagnant. Like, you had Lewis that was your dominant driver, but then you also had Russell here who couldn't improve or couldn't do anything because you were sitting there with Lewis.
does that not sound very familiar to what Ferrari is right now?
To an
Because
extent,
like
but
they're not going to let Lewis be the number one driver so long as Charles is there. They've
they're not
invested way too
going to
much.
be the number one driver. But I also think it's one of those things where it's like Lewis has had such a long career in F1 already. I don't know if he's even.
He's more so joyriding at this point.
Yeah. I look at him like Alonso. Like, I think if Alonso wanted to genuinely compete again, he would not be sitting on Aston Martin right now.
This is true. Money talks because both of them
That's
got a lot of money on their
that's what I'm saying. And
contracts.
it's like I look at what Timmy, I can't pronounce, I can always mess up his last name.
Kimi
Kimmy,
Antonelli,
yeah.
Raikkonen. Yeah,
Yes, thank
Raikkonen.
you. I remember him quoting, like, I think there's a quote from him saying, I literally race as a hobby. Like, this is not like the end all be all for me. He's like, this is just a hobby. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah. Iceman is a little crazy.
I love him. He's a
Iceman
favorite.
is fun.
He's probably one of my favorite drivers just in the sense that he is such a deadpan. It's insane.
It's awesome. But moving on from that, the last main news topic of the week, the 2026 F1 schedule came out, and a lot of controversies on it because one, they scheduled the Canadian Grand Prix. They're trying to get into the North American market. They scheduled the Canadian Grand Prix the same weekend as the Indy 500 next year. Not great planning because America will be watching the Indy 500,
I'm gonna
unfortunately.
say my butt will probably be at the Indy 500.
Yeah, so not great scheduling on their part. However, the big one, Imola, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, officially got dropped. They will not be on the calendar next year, which
I don't,
is a bit unfortunate because I like that race. It was a
I
fun
was
race
gonna
this
say,
year,
I don't know
but
why they did that. I actually really enjoyed that race.
I think this year's race kind of maybe has a little recency bias because it was such a good race. It hasn't been great the years prior, but like it's such a kind of iconic race. I don't know how you can really.
It is. I mean, it's
It's
like
unfortunate.
take away Miami. I don't care.
They're bringing in, of course, Madrid.
Actually, I'm kind of excited for Madrid. I think it'll be a cool
It's
race.
a street circuit, so who knows how much overtaking there will be. But
Probably not a lot,
I'm
but
always welcome
excited
to
for
new
it.
races, though.
I'm
Like,
excited for it. I mean, it could be one of those things too where they try out Madrid if it sucks and it ends up being
that's
like,
like what people always say, right? And like, people still rip on Vegas all the time, right? People just don't like the fact that they have another American race. It's a good race. Like, the racing is fun. I love that race.
like I said, but if it fails, end all be all, like you can literally just bring it back, I guess. It's not like it's going anywhere.
I think like that's probably what they should do with Monaco. Take a couple years off, fix the layout, and just make it a little bit better. And
least a year. I don't think they'll ever take Monaco off
They're
of
never going
it.
to take Monaco away, but like Imola, they can do a couple of little fixes and it can be back on the calendar eventually. I have no doubt of that. But
You know what? They should add a ramp. You know what? Let's just look it up. Let's
what was
just
it? I think it was Dubai that they were saying they were going to race like 200 feet in the air at one point.
here, dude. There's no way. If they did Dubai, they would have to take a break from Monaco. That's a lot,
And you go from like the most classic race in Monaco to the most futuristic race in Dubai.
dude. That's a lot. The amount of
But
money that would be amassed from those. Yeah, no, that's a lot.
it'll be fun.
That's a lot.
Season starts next year, March 6th in Australia and ends in
Late.
Abu Dhabi in December. So
I feel like that's late.
long season. And I don't know if it's that late, but um,
I feel like it's later than
I don't think they've really made any big changes besides that. Um, yeah, those are kind of the main changes. Starts in Australia. China's still on the calendar. Japan, Bahrain, Saudi. There we go, Miami. They do change like the order because obviously Canada wasn't after Miami this year, or was it? When was the last race?
What do you mean?
What was the last race? Spanish Grand Prix.
Wasn't it the
Yes,
Spanish? Was
yeah,
it
it
the
was
Spanish?
Monaco and then Spain, and now Canada's next. Next year is going from Miami to Montreal, then to Monaco, then to Spain. So a lot of a lot better. So
Interesting. I'm trying to remember when the season started this year. Whatever.
tell you right now,
I know, and so I'm trying to look up. Uh, oh,
what was the first race of the year this year?
February 26th. Yeah, that's why I said it's late. They're starting later.
They're starting later, but I think they might be.
Or I guess, oh no, I guess they're
Uh,
starting earlier. Sorry,
no,
testing.
February 26th was testing.
Yeah,
The first race this year is March 16th.
I
The
guess they're
first
starting
race next year
earlier
is
now. March
March
6th.
6th. So they're starting a little earlier. The last race of the season this year, which I would
The
assume is
last race is Abu
Abu
Dhabi. It's like the first weekend in December.
Dhabi is December 7th. So next year it ends on December 6th. So it's literally just a week extra the next year.
I wonder if they have an extra break or something, or a longer summer break.
They have a break from July 26th to August 21st. I don't think that's any different than usual. So
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that extra week then.
probably just some extra travel time needed when you're going to Spain again. So not a big deal.
Makes
But
sense.
Imola gone, kind of unfortunate. But we
Yeah.
moved because I think Spain's going to be pretty interesting. So
Fun, but it's sad. It's
we'll see
okay.
how it goes. Now, all the news is over. We got a lot of news going on today. We had a lot of time to talk about it. We got to get into the fun stuff of this week's Canadian Grand Prix. We have fantasy. We're not changing anything. We're just going to leave it. We didn't really check the last 2 weeks.
I was gonna
We're going
say
to
I'm not
check after this race.
gonna.
We're not going to do it now. But the predictions are open because we used to be filming on Tuesdays. We are now filming today on a Thursday. We're going to do Wednesdays most of the time. But the predictions are back out. So we're going to do the predictions together again today. Then we're going to do our top five in the little game. And then we're going to wrap it up and see where we stand. But do you
I
have the
like it.
predictions open?
I have them open now.
All right. So F1 predictions. We're back predicting the podium of Canada. I
God, I
don't
feel like it's
even know. I
months
haven't
of
put any
week.
thought on this.
I don't either. I feel like it's been way too long since.
I think I'm going to roll Lando winning because he kind of needs to right now. I think Oscar's going to be P2. And I think who do I think is going to be P3?
I want to put George P3. I feel like we're due for a
I feel
Mr.
like
Consistency.
Max is due for a crash out, so I don't think he's going to be P3. I'm going to go Charles P3.
I'm gonna go Oscar Lando.
Oscar, Lando, George for you.
Yeah, Oscar Lando George.
I'm going to write this down on our thing as well. So you're going Oscar, Lando, George. And I'm going Lando, Oscar, Charles. Lando. And we'll still talk about this when we do our little game, but I just need to make sure we have it down.
Tough to do P4 and 5, but
Still have to do 4, 5, and the bonus. And Sydney's already made the comeback, so this actually matters this week. So moving on. I'm not going to put a two times chip on this because I feel like that's a little
I
risky.
got George got pole in Montreal last year.
That was the race where he and Max had the exact same qualifying time, but
Was it?
George hit it first, so he got the
Was it?
it was. And it was also a rainy race last year, so
Oh, I don't know if it's supposed to
I
rain
don't
this week.
know what the weather is in
It
Montreal this
actually
year.
might rain because it's supposed to rain here for the next like 6 days.
Montreal weather on Sunday says it's going to be perfectly sunny with no percent of rain, but that
All
can
right.
quickly change, so we'll see.
Never mind. I take it back.
The last
I
year was a rainy race. It screwed Lando and ended up giving Max the win because of it. But pole position,
I want to put Oscar.
I'm going to put Lando because I feel like if Oscar does get pole, Lando's not winning the race, and I just put Lando as my winner. So I kind of need Lando to win this. So Lando's on pole.
Oh, this one's easy. I like this one.
Qualify highest, Gabriel Bortoleto and Hulkenberg. That's a joke. We know who that's going to
He's
be.
so
I
freaking
will be
mad.
putting my two times chip on that one.
I was gonna do the same thing.
But that could change if I see something interesting. This is an interesting
Aston
one.
Martin get two cars into Q2.
I love how it says the Canadian fans are hoping their countryman Lance Stroll has made a full recovery. And let's be honest, I don't think Canadian fans really care about Lance Stroll. Like,
Yeah.
of course, we want them to have a full recovery. I don't think anyone's really banking on him to win, or like do well. I don't think they really care.
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I feel like I Q2.
I think Q2, yes. Q anything more is probably a
I was
no.
gonna say at least Q2. Anything more? No. I
I feel
agree
like
with
we're
that.
pretty straightforward together on these picks
I
this
mean,
year, this week,
that's what I'm
but
saying because I like if you think about it, you're gonna have Bortoletto probably on the bottom, Hulkenberg probably also on the bottom, maybe in Q2 on a whim. Liam Lawson probably down there. The Hosses because they've been doing horrible.
and this is not our track that favors them, so I
Who
agree
else?
with that. Uh
Maybe a
Yeah,
Williams,
you said Lawson. You said Lawson, both Hosses.
Bortoletto. He's
Orletto.
maybe a Williams.
I don't think it Williams will be that big, but an Alpines, both Alpines.
And an Alpine. Yep.
Yeah, that's an easy
Yeah,
one.
Q2. That's done deal.
Um, Fastest pit stop.
I want to put Max. Or not Max. I want to put Red Bull.
The easy answer is Ferrari or McLaren, but I'm
I
gonna
feel
be
like Red
safe.
Bull.
I'm gonna go Ferrari. I think they've just kind of been well above everyone this year. It's a safe pick, but it's a
Oh.
necessary pick. Fastest lap of the race. I feel like we're gonna have the two same answers. It's just the opposite way.
I was just about to say, I want to say Oscar.
And I'm gonna say Lando because it's just kind of how it's gotta go. For the sake of my predictions, who will finish the race? This is an interesting one. Ocon or Hadjar? I know what you want to pick, and I know I'm going to pick Hadjar because he's just been better.
Okay, in terms of winning predictions, I have to put Hadjar because Haas has been horrible.
But Esty Bestie, though. How are you betting against Esty Bestie? That's
Because I
crazy.
want to win my thingy.
Yeah, I will be going Hadjar. That's kind of a given to me.
Will there be a safety car or virtual safety car?
Lance
I'm
Stroll is in the race, so yes.
that or we're gonna have another Kimmy engine issue.
How many classified finishers? Rain knocked five cars out last week or last year. No rain
I'm gonna
expected right now. Again, could change. We did say there's going to be a safety car.
I'm gonna put 19. I feel like somebody's gotta have an engine failure. Have we had a
We'll go
race this
18.
season with everybody finish?
I'm sure we have, but all right. And then the last one. Who will be ahead in the team standings after the race?
Mercedes.
So Ferrari is actually ahead in the championship now. I did not realize that on Mercedes.
Yeah, because Kimmy
Has not been great.
shit the bed.
And I did say Leclerc was going to get third, so I think Ferrari has to go there.
I'm gonna put Mercedes.
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 And we're done. Predictions have been made. What are the results at the moment? I'm not sure what our league is looking like.
I don't know. We didn't do it for Monaco or Spain.
So looking at it, percentage wise, I'm in first with 56% correct. Tori's in second with 52% correct. You're in third with 44, and my dad is last with 40. However, because my dad has done it more weeks, he's in first place total with 291 points. I'm in second with 214. Tori's in third with 182, and you're in fourth with 128.
Yeah, I'm not doing so hot.
But I feel like neither of them are going to do it this week, so I think we might have some time to come back here.
Some advantage here.
Try to make it up a little bit. So,
Okay.
time for some further race predictions. We have, of course, the top three. I'll go first because I am still ahead. The score is currently 21 to 14. Sydney was down 21 to 5 at one point.
Yeah.
The comeback has been on. Obviously, we went Lando, Oscar, Charles. I think Lando's just going to kind of need to win this race. Oscar's so fast. McLaren 1-2 is always a given. And I think Charles has been so good lately that third kind of makes sense. In terms of fourth and fifth, I'm going to go George in fourth. He
Okay.
has had a consistently good run in Canada,
Okay.
like over the last couple of years. I'm gonna go safe, especially now that you've shrunk the gap a little bit in the standings. I'm gonna go Max Fit. I don't think we're gonna see anything crazy this
Um,
week.
I always forget about Max.
And we're gonna go Lando, Oscar, Charles, George, Max. I don't know how you can forget about Max. That's crazy.
I forgot about him because he did horrible last race.
He didn't do horrible. He just got crashed out. But
It's crap. That messes me up. I always forget about Max because he's not in P1 anymore. He doesn't finish anymore.
we can make some changes.
No, 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 no. Okay, so you did George Max bonus. I'm gonna do Max fourth.
Max.
Let's do, you know, I'm kind of feeling an Alex Albon in fifth. I don't know why.
I love it.
I'm gonna be a little bold. I'm gonna do an Alex Albon in fifth. I just put up two Lego cars on my fridge, and one of them's a McLaren, and the other's a Williams. So
And let's be honest here. If you get fifth wrong, it's not that big of a deal because it's only 1 point.
I was
So
gonna say it's only a point.
it's not that big of a deal.
All right, let's do this bonus.
Am I doing it for you or are you doing it for me? Or how are we doing this? Because I have it up.
I'll
This is
spin the
not
number
bad.
for you. You spin the number for me.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready because I'm going to click it so we can see my phone. I'm going to hit it with this finger and hope it works.
I forget number picker wheel. 6 to 20. All
Oh,
right.
man, no, I lost it.
Three,
Ready?
2, 1,
I'll let you
go.
spin. I'm not going to click right away. Oh, yours is 15.
This is
Oh,
going.
no. Oh, that's so bad for me. I have to pick dead last. I have to figure out who's going to like
Oh,
crash out first.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait, so how do we want to do that? Do we want to put 20 as whoever crashes out first?
I mean, 20 is dead last. So, like,
Oh,
whoever
dead
crashes out
last.
first,
So,
yeah.
like, so say like two people DNF.
But
Is
then one of them did more laps. Oh, we're saying if they both at the same time.
or like if yeah, if two people crash out at the same time, or if like one does lap 15, the
I
other's
feel
lap
like,
20.
well, I can't say that because it's me, 20. Like, for the future, we won't do it this week. But if, say, I picked Max to be finished last, right? And he and Lando crashed out at the same exact time into each other, I think I should get the points because
Yeah, I agree. No, 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 I
I
agree with
got one
that.
of them right,
I,
right?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
We're
But I
not
would
gonna
say
do it this week because I
I
feel like
would
that's
say
cheating on ourselves.
whoever either finishes last or DNFs first.
Exactly.
Last. Yeah.
So, and it should say something, right? Like how it will probably work. Say Lando and Max crashed each other out, but like Lando got a little bit further down the road. He's technically 19th, I guess. So
Well, that's
it
like,
should work.
but you look at it too, because it could also be like they crash at the same time. One person spins off, is out immediately, and then one takes another lap and then realizes they have front wing
But
damage.
that means the person that did less time is last. Yeah, that makes sense. So 20th, not great for me.
Yeah,
Not
that's
great at all.
brutal.
Because this is purely guessing on who's going to crash. There is nothing to like go off of here except for the statistics of who crashes the most.
Yeah.
And let's think of a couple of names that have crashed a lot. Tim
Liam Law.
Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda,
You're
Esti
Kimmy.
Besti,
Esty
unfortunately.
Science has been in and out.
Kimmy for nothing really on his end. It's just Mercedes has kind of been all over the place. Anyone else? Colapinto, but he
Was
hasn't
it
really crashed.
Colton?
Like
I don't think
that's
Stroll's really been
20's
out.
a hard one. 20's a really hard one.
Yeah, because are you gonna bank it on if somebody's gonna crash? Are you gonna bank it on?
Or Liam Lawson just going Liam Lawson mode and taking someone out. Like who's he gonna take out?
Yeah, so is either you gonna bank it on somebody crashing, or are you gonna bank it on
You have to bank it on
like
someone.
Sauber being
And
horrible?
God, that's a hard one.
That's pretty brutal. I'm kind of excited. This will be interesting.
I'm gonna I want God. I'm gonna go Yuki.
Yuki, really?
Because like let's be honest, if I'm expecting
Really?
someone to crash, it's probably him.
Hmm.
I don't
That's a
want it to
bold
happen
choice. I kind of like
because
it.
like Lawson probably causes the most accidents, but he also crashes in manners that takes other people out, not him. So like it's not
Watch
gonna
is
be
gonna be
him.
Alonso by Lawson again.
I'm rolling Yuki. I'm probably not gonna like it, but 20 is kind of a throwaway. Let's be honest here. Like I don't know if there's anything I can really do on that one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Now
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
15, we've had to guess 15th before, I believe.
Esty bestie.
She's rolling Esty again.
I gotta get my Esty bestie up in there. Come on. I did him dirty on the fantasy. I gotta get my redemption here. Not that I want him in P15.
What points is redemption? So all I'm
Not
saying is
that I
if
want
you get Esty
P15.
Bestie correct, you very likely would be in the lead, which is crazy. So
Not that I want him in P15, but gotta be realistic
interesting.
sometimes.
So yeah, we've
Oh
covered
man.
it. We've covered it all, and I think we did pretty good on timing again.
Yeah, we
We're
did.
getting good at nailing this 45-minute mark. So
Yeah, we are. But
I
it comes
believe we
now.
started at 8:30. It's 9:15. So
Yeah, give or
yeah,
take.
but not important.
Give or take.
What is important is watching this Canadian Grand Prix this weekend. It's on Father's Day, which is good because then me and my dad can watch Ernie's.
That'll be awesome.
So we'll see how it all unfolds, but it's gonna be
I
a
love
fun
it.
one. Week off. We got a week back now. Canada, maybe a Lance Stroll shocker. Who knows? I guess we'll find out on Sunday though. So yeah,
We'll find out. Practice is tomorrow. I don't know what time it is tomorrow.
I'm not gonna watch practice
It's
on
at
Thursday.
1 p.m.
We'll make it work.
1:30. Yeah, 1:30.
Maybe I will watch. We'll see. However, in the meantime, thank you guys all for watching. Subscribe. We've got, I think, 5 subscribers now, which is crazy that
Yay!
we're
Oh my God, guys, we're blowing up. We're famous.
like we're blowing up famous. Like we have not we promote this like a little bit, but we could be doing more. So the fact that we even have subscribers at all is
Definitely.
pretty cool on
We
our part. So
we should probably figure that out. I feel like we say that every week, but
Sydney has done a good job with all the Instagram posts. It's just a
we'll
matter of me not pulling my weight and putting it on Spotify. So oops, but I'll
we'll,
figure it out.
we'll get
In the
it eventually.
meantime, we'll see you next week. Subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, follow the Instagram, the whole nine,
Like, subscribe, follow, share, everything.
and we'll see you next week.
Happy race week. Let's do it.
Goodbye.
Woo!